Hey everybody, Bob the Favorite Computer Guy. Today we're taking a look at an RTA called the Bellus V2. This is the Bellus V2 by UD, whatever you want to call them. It's an RTA. It's got some interesting design choices. Let's dive down to the table. We're going to take a look at it. The video is from when I first opened it, before I even looked at it myself. We're going to build it, wick it, and then come back up and I'll tell you the pros and cons. Okay, so today we're taking a look at the Bellus V2 by UD, Unification of Design. Alright, this is my first look at it. Haven't vape done it yet. We're going to unbox it, look at it, see how it works, and then I'll come back after I've used it for a while and let you know what I think of it. So it comes in the standard flip top box here. Ooh, fancy. Alright, so we have the Bellus V2. Let's zoom in a little bit here and let's take a look at it. Drip tip, standard 510. Feels like nice threading. Normal fill top, dual Cylon slots on top there. Every time I say nice threading, I have a hard time threading it again. Just the way they do it to me. Airflow. Let's unscrew the bottom here. Alright. Okay, I'm back with my better glasses on so I can see what I'm looking at here. Well, you got design and manufactured by UD. 510. Let's see here. Let's take the whole bottom off. I'm not going to force anything. We're going to learn this together. Alright, let's take that off. Glass. You have an extra glass, as you can see. Let's see, how does this come apart? Oh, look at that. Alright, so that slides down. That's your airflow ring. I didn't even try turning it, but as you can see, in there you can see your airflow in there. Alright. So that ring comes off as well. And as you can see here, atomizer housing, RBA deck, lock ring. So I took the lock ring off, and I guess this is supposed to wiggle out. We're going to get a screwdriver and try and take it out safely. So, let's see. We'll just put a little pressure in here somewhere and pop this out. Come on, how do you... okay, see, if I start pushing there, I can see it coming down. You might be able to do it right from here. That's what that little lip looks like. Okay, looks like you can put that in there and just give it a little turn, and there you go. There's your deck. All right, standard velocity deck. It's your whole chimney post. Standard velocity, except that the top holes are grub screws on the top, and the bottom holes are grub screws on the side, instead of it being, you know, normally you have them both on the side. So the style of the deck is velocity, but that's the same. Wicking here. Now that might be a little fun, because you're going to put your wicking through here. But if you notice, a lot of bases like this, a lot of decks will have a ring across the top here, and you would end up just tucking your cotton into the holes. This does not have a ring there, so once you rest your cotton down in here, then you're going to have to get this back into here, and without the cotton moving from side to side at all, or coming out there. So let's throw some coils in here. Let's see what else it comes with. Any coils? No. You got your O-rings. You got some more grub screws. All right, you got a blue O-ring there, in case you want to change the look up a little bit. And I don't think there's anything else under here. Let's move the glass over. Let's double check. Well, yeah, you got some coils. You see, it's a good thing I checked in there. Now, let's zoom you out here. It's a good thing I checked in there. So you got your Allen key, but you do got a couple of nice looking coils here. Let's rip this open and take a look at them. So, got a couple of coils there. Come on, focus. All right. So we're going to throw those in there. You got your little book, and you got your manual there. So we're going to throw those coils in there and set this thing up. All right, so I got my Gen 3 here. Now, we can just put this deck in like this to work on it. All right, let's loosen these grub screws. We get some snippers and some cotton. All right, so we got everything we need. Let's throw these coils in here, or place them gently. All right, let's see, just placing them in there. Get them pretty lined up so that the cotton will end up coming right down here. Basically as close as you can to the deck without touching, to the actual posts without touching the posts. Tighten up one. As you see right away, it starts to deform the shape of the coil. We tighten it down. We can use a screwdriver. Now, it would have helped if I was paying attention and actually tighten the right grub screw for it. Right? I tightened the bottom one, but that coil isn't in yet. So let's fix that. Now I recommend make sure your mod is off when you're doing this kind of thing. All right, mine isn't, but I'm a jerk sometimes, and I do it the stupid way. And sometimes you pay the price and you get burned. But I've just been doing this a lot, so I get a little lazy. And I don't always make sure it's off. But if you're not totally comfortable doing it that way, turn your mod off so you don't accidentally fire it and burn yourself, please. All right. I'm going to reopen up the coil, the screw that I tightened incorrectly before. All right, so that coil is in there. All right, maybe a little high, we can lower it afterwards. I'm going to cut off these leads without losing an eye. Let's throw the next one in. So, you can see there the coils. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. Next one down a little bit. Now they kind of space themselves out automatically when just by tightening it, they kind of pull themselves apart, which is what you want. You want spaced coils. They're about even there. Let's see what we got this for power. We got it on 80 watts. It's picking it up at atomizer low. Now what happens a lot of times with this, it'll say atomizer low, like if it was way too low of a resistance on there. But if we take this off, we'll see what happens here. But this happens a lot. And it'll say no atomizer found. Then we throw it back on there. And it's not just this mod, a lot of mods do this. Now I fire it, and look at that. 0.13, so it picked it up fine. So just by taking it off and putting it back on, it picks it up. And that happens quite a bit. All right, make sure I didn't mess up the coils, they look all right. So we got 0.13 at 80 watts. We're gonna do a little dry burning here. Just pulse it a little bit. All right, you can see they're glowing really good there. Gonna space that out a little more. Just make sure it's the way I want it. That one looks pretty good to start. Do a few more pulses. And that's pulsing really good. We're gonna let that cool for a minute, and then we're gonna wick it. Now, what I would do, since you want to know how long to do this, if you're not sure, bring it down like this, and then just cut it off on the bottom, okay? And just cut it off there so you know that's where it's going to go. Now, what happens with this, my recommendation is you want to get this in here, okay? But then you got to screw it into the top without that moving. And that gets to be a bit of a pain. So the best thing to do for something like this is juice it up and then place it into the juice flow slots. So now the hardest part, what juice to use. All right, let's go with some, let's zoom back out because you can't see anything here. Vapetiza Killed Custard Strawberry. Thanks to Vapetiza for sending this in. We did a review for this a while back. Let's throw some of this on there. Hopefully I don't drip all over because these kind of bottles can be a pain. Just wet my wicks. And you don't want to totally soak them here. You just want to give them enough that you can place them where you want and they're going to stay. All right. If you look at the bottom, they're still not very wet. Sorry, when you zoom in that much, it's hard to stay on camera. All right, now we're going to go and place them into the juice flow slots. As you see, that will stay down there now because it's wet. If it's too long, like that one's a little too long, we'll have to trim it a little more. Better longer than shorter because you can take off, but you can't put back. Like my father used to say every time we were taking food at the dinner table. You can always take more, but you can't put back. Okay, so for the most part, that's good. I'm going to take this off without messing those wicks up too much. All right. Now, take a chimney. Now, the whole idea is, again, you don't want it to jam up or go outside the slots where it might cause leaking because it's preventing the threading from going in properly. Now, this just seems to push in this point, but you want to have your coils obviously by that airflow. So there may be a specific spot for it. We'll find out once we get it in there, but you can see the coil right in there. Coil's a little bit high. Might want it to lower it a little more, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. So I'm just going to put it where the coils are in the right spot. And we'll deal with the rest later. And there we go. So pushed in, you can see my coil in there perfectly. All right. Gotta find all the parts. Slide that up there. Take the ring. Get that ring on there tight. So that's what's going to hold that in place, and then you're just going to turn your airflow once we get the rest together. Put our glass on. And let's see. O-ring facing down. I had it the wrong way. All right. My hands are a little juiced up right now, so everything's a little slippery. All right, I'm going to clean my hands. Be right back. Okay. So now the outside's nice and clean. All right. Let's see about that airflow. It's really tight right now. So if I try and loosen it, I'm actually loosening the whole thing. So basically it looks like we're gonna put our airflow where we want it and then tighten down the ring. So if the ring is too tight here, your airflow is very hard to turn, which kind of locks your airflow in. My only concern is all my coils moving in there. So let's pop this off for a moment. And the answer is no. See, because unless you're moving that base, your coils are staying right where you want them. So we're gonna pop that airflow on. So you may have to loosen that bottom lock ring. Okay, that's not going to affect this portion here. It's just affecting itself. even though it feels like you might be turning your coils. So I'm going to put this with full airflow open. I'm going to lock that down. All right. Now what I might want to do for filling is turn off the airflow. All right, we'll fill her up. Put the top cap on. Loosen that ring just a little bit here. Open up my airflow. Tighten it back down. And there you go. That's the Bellus V2. Loving the juice that I got in this thing, which will be a review that'll come out tomorrow night for that juice. So this is the Bellus V2 by Wicking. So you saw it up close. Let's start with the pros. Flavor on it is great. I'm really happy with the flavor on it. No leaking. It's solid. It fits well together nicely. Threading is nice. 5 mil capacity. Overall, all those things make it a very nice RTA. Had to get that juice in there. Citrusy juice, really good. Cons. Now, the cons are not like it's bad, but it's not really going to be for a new RTA builder or someone who doesn't have a lot of experience, just because of that deck. You got to use a screwdriver to take that deck in and out. All right. I don't know why they went with that design choice, but they did. So you do have to, pop that out on the sides to get that deck out. So it's not like the Kylan or something where you can just turn it upside down, unscrew it, adjust your cotton, put it back in, and so forth. This you got to do a little more work to get to it. So I got to consider that a con. The other con would just be the wicking, which is what kind of makes it not the best RTA for a beginner, because you're putting your wicks into the wick channels, all right, with no ring around it. You just have to lay them in there properly and then put the whole base back into the tank without messing up the wicks, and knowing that your wicks are done right, that it's not going to be too tight and it's not going to be too loose and leak. So, I've done it. I must have re-wicked this thing, 7-8 times already, and I've had no problem with it. But again, I do this a lot. If you do it a lot, you'll probably also have no problems with it. But if you're a new builder, you might find dealing with popping out that deck and dealing with getting that wicking just right before you insert the base with the wicking and coils into your tank a little difficult to do. So those are the cons. It's not a new builder's tank. Other than that, it's great. I'm happy with it. I'm certainly going to continue to use it. Airflow is nice. The coils I got in here right now, the build is a little I don't know, it's kind of poppy. Maybe, it's affecting it a little bit turbulent. The vape is great, but you got that little bit of crackling when you're done vaping. I don't like that, but it's not affecting my flavor or the vape. It's just that little bit of sound afterwards. So if you hear that, in the video, if that comes through, it's okay. It's no big deal, but I'm still enjoying the build that's in there. Listen. Don't know if that came through, but before people start commenting saying that didn't sound too good, it's perfectly fine. It's just the type of coils that are in there and the way the cotton's absorbing it. It's fine. So on this, it's a 5 millimeter capacity. It's a 25 millimeter base. It's 42 millimeters without the drip tip. Okay, standard 510 drip tip. You can put what you want in there. And she's just vaping good. It's a nice tank. I picked mine up. I actually bought this on Fast Tech for 25 bucks. Gear Best has it for 21. I don't know of any other sites that have it in the US. I just found those two on the first search. Those are the first two that come up, and wherever else you are, it might be in the world. So 5 millimeter capacity, 25 by 42 millimeters. And for those who are going to ask probably what this is not the Predator. All right, Predator's right here. This is a different tank, a different mod. This this juice I'm going to review tomorrow. The day after that, you'll probably see the review for this. This is a new Wismic mod, and this is called the Sinus FJ200, okay? Built-in battery. So that'll be coming up in 2 days. And yeah, I can recommend this. I just wouldn't recommend it for somebody who doesn't feel confident dealing with the wicking and the base and that kind of thing. If you're kind of new to it, you probably wouldn't want to. But for $21 to $25, if you're an experienced vapor, it's certainly a good tank, and it's a great tasting vape. Really enjoying it. So there you go. That's the Bellus V2 by Wicking. Thanks for watching.